Good afternoon and welcome everyone to our Capital Readiness webinar. I bring you greetings from our President, CEO, and Operator, Sharon Pender of the Capital Region Minority Supplier Development Council. My name is Sonia Bigelow-Smith, and I am the Director of our Capital Readiness Program. The Capital Readiness Program is a strategic 4-year effort to connect underserved businesses to technical assistance, capital, and emerging market opportunities. Today, we are in partnership with the Metropolitan Business League to share strategies to climb the capital ladder. With that, I would like to welcome Mr. Floyd Miller, the President and CEO of the Metropolitan Business League, to share a few words with you.
Thank you, Sonia. On behalf of the Board of Directors, we want to just say we value our partnership with the Capital Region Minority Supplier Development Council, and it's an honor to participate today for your first webinar series on access to capital. I'm so excited for the audience to be able to have information about our capital access program. So I just want to welcome everyone today and thank you for your continued support.
Thank you, Floyd. Before we get started, everyone, just a few housekeeping items. Please know that everyone will be placed on mute. This session is being recorded, and we will take questions at the end. Next, I'd like to introduce Sharon Anderson-Grooms. She is the Capital Access Manager for the Metropolitan Business League. Sharon, before we get started and I go into your bio, what we'd like to do is ask for the poll question that we have for our audience. We want to get a feel for who's out there and whether or not you feel that you're in position to secure capital today. So we will open up this poll, and if everyone could go ahead and submit your votes. Thank you. Can we get the results for that poll? So it seems like we have about 43% of our audience that feels like they are ready to secure capital. We will be in touch with you after this webinar. And about 57% of you do not feel that you're ready to secure capital today. And we will be in touch with you as well, because we have some great programming forthcoming throughout the year to help support your efforts. And this webinar today would definitely do that. So next, as I shared prior, I'd like to introduce Ms. Sharon Anderson-Grooms. She is the Capital Access Manager for the Metropolitan Business League. She joined MBL as a Capital Access Manager in January 2022 after 35 years in community banking. And I say that with emphasis. She's bringing a lot of knowledge and a lot of wealth to this conversation. She has been serving small minority-owned and women-owned businesses and individuals for many, many years. She supports small businesses and the community development projects with a special emphasis on underserved and low-income communities. She is responsible for identifying and assessing borrowers' capital needs, making referrals for technical assistance, and assisting with originating, processing, and underwriting loan applications for small businesses and community development borrowers. So please send a warm welcome to Ms. Anderson-Grooms as she shares her presentation with you all today. And again, we will take questions at the end. I'll turn it over to you, Sharon. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Sonia. And I'm very happy to be here today to share what knowledge I have along these lines, and ready to dive right in. And thank you all for joining us today. Now, our Capital Access Hub is a collaboration between the Metropolitan Business League and Bridging Virginia. And the Metropolitan Business League is a nonprofit organization that's been helping small businesses for over 50 years. And we do that in the early stages on throughout the life of the business and we're membership based. We have over 1,300 members. And Bridging Virginia is a community loan fund that joined us with this effort in answer to what happened during COVID-19 and how that impacted businesses. Now, this was my first flyer that I got an opportunity to help work on to promote our Capital Access Hub. And I don't know if Floyd ever liked it, but he let me run with it. And I just thought it was wonderful because of the tagline, helping clients climb the capital ladder, because that's what we're all about. And it indicates where our main office is here in Richmond, 1717 East Carey Street. And I'm not going to go over all of the services because you will know as we move throughout the presentation what we do. But I do want to point out our sponsors. We have some really, really wonderful sponsors of our Capital Access Hub, and you will recognize these are some heavy hitters here. And maybe some of them have not been able to help you as an entrepreneur, and you might not have a very great opinion of them. But what I want to point out is that they help us and organizations like ours so that we can meet small businesses and entrepreneurs where they are, and we give that support. So I'm very proud of that, the sponsorship that we have. And our partners, the City of Richmond, the National League of Cities, who connected us really with Kiva, the Kiva Loan Program. And we'll talk more about Kiva as we move through the presentation as well. Now, this is the slide that I really want to point out about credit barriers. Statistics illustrate that over 42% of small businesses fail due to a lack of cash flow. I want all small businesses, whether you're ready or not, to jump into accessing capital. Cash flow is very important. And 8 out of 10 Black businesses fail within their first 18 months due to a lack of resources and funds. And I know most businesses can identify with that. So I want you to pay attention to resources and funds. You're going to need that. And many minority businesses lack relationships with traditional banks and fail to have adequate credit. And credit is so important. That's my major focus, is to make sure that our folks are credit ready. And you do need a strong financial portfolio, but you can grow that in order to secure capital, particularly as you work with traditional banks. And it should always be your plan to climb the capital ladder, because you can't pay cash for everything. So you might start out with bootstrapping your business. You may get a grant opportunity. You may climb up to that Kiva loan that we're going to talk more about at 0% interest rate, not strictly based on credit rating. And then Bridging Virginia, we have loans that we can actually tailor to the borrower, because we are not regulated like a financial institution that has to treat everyone the same. We can really work with small businesses. And then CDFI loans, community development financial institutions. And you can Google those in your area, because they are a lot of them. And they can make larger loans, like for development projects, like if you're going to work with bringing affordable housing and that type of thing. They will make a smaller loan, but they make loans into the millions. And then traditional banks, we all know that they are the mega banks, and they are the ones that can bring financing at a very high level. So that's the top of the ladder. Now let's start with grant opportunities. My slogan there is get ready and stay ready, because now MBL offers grant opportunities to small businesses like other organizations, but grants are not always available. We have awarded over $1 million in grants through the We Care Resurgence Grants Program. And that was an answer to how COVID-19 affected small businesses. And we just made an award to several businesses in December, and we have another award coming up, and that's specifically for a certain area. But we sometimes knock on doors to get small businesses to apply. And we also share grant opportunities that come through our office, telling us that, you know, another organization has a grant. Now, there are numerous grant opportunities available, but you have to research them. They're not always going to be dropped into your lap, but some documentation will be required. And that's why I say get ready, stay ready. Kiva. I love talking about Kiva. For one thing, just see what they're all about. Enabling communities to expand capital access for financially excluded entrepreneurs. That's very important. Let's talk about their global impact, because Kiva is an international nonprofit that was started in 2005 in San Francisco. And let's just talk about this global thing. Look at this. They operate in over 77 countries, over 4 million borrowers. And this is as of February 2022, 2 million lenders to help you crowdfund your loan. And over $2 billion have been lent with a very small staff. And a Kiva loan is made every 7 seconds. Let's talk about the Kiva US impact, because I work for the US Kiva group. And between this time period of 2011 to 2022, $50 million in crowdfunding loans have been made in over 1,500 cities in the United States. And I want to point out that the Metropolitan Business League is the only Kiva hub in Virginia at this time. So we're serving a vast group. Even though we have a target market that we selected, we help other groups as well. And Kiva has helped over 8,400 borrowers in the United States. As I indicated, Kiva is a global nonprofit. The loans are at 0% interest rate loans to small businesses and entrepreneurs. And these loans are what we call character-based. Even though we may pull a soft credit pull on your credit report, we're looking to see if you have the capacity to repay the loan. These loans have no fees. They range from $1,000 to $15,000. And the repayment terms range from 12 months to 36 months, depending on the loan amount. The larger the loan, the longer the term. And we are connecting a global community, because the loans they're funded by a network of over 1 million individual lenders, remember? There are eligibility requirements. First of all, you apply online. You have to be 18 years old or older. You have to have a PayPal account or create one, because you're going to crowdfund through PayPal. Your loan funds are going to be dispersed to you through PayPal, and you're going to make your repayments through PayPal. You're not going to pay each individual person that lent you $25 or $100. You're going to pay Kiva, and Kiva is going to pay those people over the term of your loan. You cannot be in an active bankruptcy, foreclosure, or undercurrent liens, but those things can have been in your past. Your bankruptcy can be discharged, and then you do qualify. And we do place special emphasis on households with incomes under $100,000. That does not exclude everyone else, but that is the sweet spot right there. There are ineligible businesses, Uber businesses, Lyft, gun shop, vape shops, cigar bars, for just financially and trying to just invest. Those funds are not for that. And even Tupperware and Mary Kay, because they have their own built-in support system. The most successful borrowers are teachable and responsive. You don't have to be tech savvy, but you do have to try, because you're going to apply online, and most of the communications will be through email. I will pick up the phone and call you, because I will be your capital access manager if you apply, but you do need to know that you have to be responsive. Check your emails, have a business plan, work with a trustee in Kiva. You're going to have to work with Kiva no matter what, but the trustee and Metropolitan Business League is also a trustee. Say, for instance, you were approved for a $5,000 loan and you really wanted $6,000. Just working with a trustee can help you get the extra $1,000 because they know that you're working with someone who can provide you support and technical assistance. And you do need a strong supportive network. Crowdfunding is all about who you reach. It's not GoFundMe now. This is totally different and it really, really works. Now, the typical borrower for our hub has been health and beauty, transportation and hauling, consulting, construction workers, businesses like that. We don't do a lot of agriculture and restaurants, service-based industries. And if you have social media, those are your contacts, people that you have listed in your phone as contacts. These are people that you're going to want to reach out to tell them that you're trying to get the 0% interest rate loans and you're going to tell them all about it. And we're going to help you craft your message. Most of my borrowers will tell you that the photo, because the photo is the first thing that people see, that photo has to be just right. If you're in a restaurant business, that photo should show us that. If you're in a transportation, that photo should show the lenders that. And we do want to make sure that you plan to repay and have the ability to repay. Of course, smaller loans fund faster. You can use these loans for equipment, any working capital thing, hiring staff. We even work with startups. If you've had one 0% interest rate loan with Kiva, after you repaid it, you can become a repeat borrower. And that's excellent because then you already have a repayment history and that process goes a lot faster. And the priority is for women-owned businesses, veteran-owned businesses, just minority businesses in general. I always like to boast about our Kiva Hub impact because I'm so proud. Even since this slide, we've done more than 35. We have 39, probably almost 40 this week, Kiva loans that we made, over $254,000. And there's always loans coming through the pipeline. And my being your capital access manager, I help you with technical assistance. I screen your loan. I make sure that the information there is good. It looks fine. It's accurate. And I help you through the crowdfunding process as well. Some folks get really nervous, and I'm always there to help and make sure that they feel like they're doing a good job. Now let's talk about our collaborator, Bridging Virginia, their community loan fund, and we're going to talk more about that. Now, Bridging Virginia, we always say we're providing the right tools at the right time. And there have been times as a small business, maybe you haven't received the help you need or you don't have the documents you need. Well, that's going to cause us to pause and to help you get that by referring you to someone, usually free of charge, to help you get the documents in place to make sure that your loan support documents are really good. And when it goes to underwriting, there are no hiccups. With Bridging Virginia, our loans go up to $50,000. We can make a loan up to $100,000, but we would have to make that with another funder, and the same documents that we require, they would require. And if they require more documents than we do, then you would have to provide those to us as well. Now look at these documents: business plan, profit and loss statement, tax returns, pay stubs if you have them, your personal and business bank statements, and you have to have a personal financial statement, your business formation documents, proof of income, and there are usually other documents as well, depending on as we go down the line. We do need certain things to make sure that we have dotted our I's and crossed our T's, but These are the minimum documents, and I give you that information before we even start the process so that you know what you're expecting, what we're expecting. Bail. Every business owner needs bail, B-A-I-L. Business bank account. Do not operate without a business bank account. You keep your business and personal transactions separate. You do need an accountant. You have to have insurance, and you need legal representation. If you think these things are not important or too costly, just get into a predicament where you're required to have them, and you're going to say, oh my God, I need them. So it's good to identify these things in your business plan already. And you do need technical assistance. You may, I would say, start with technical assistance in the beginning, but if not, then make sure that when you need it, you do get it, okay? All right, well, now what is technical assistance? It's a term used to describe support services and advice and guidance that organizations provide to help startups and small businesses succeed. And some of these things that, let's talk about what technical assistance really is. You need help with your business plan sometimes. You might need help with your capability statement, marketing and branding your business, startup and hiring employees. You may need information about that, financial projections, and my favorite thing to talk about, credit building and credit restoration. These are types of technical assistance that we make sure that our folks get when they come through our Capital Access Hub. Let's talk about a few hard truths about entrepreneurship. And don't you get angry with me, because I always tell everyone this. It is the owner's responsibility to fund your business. Don't get angry with your family and friends because they don't want to invest or lend you money, or if there are no grants out here that you can find, because it is your responsibility, and you have to take that responsibility very seriously, because that is on you to do. My slide. Maybe you should not quit your 9-to-5 prematurely. If that 9-to-5 is paying for your lifestyle and the way you like to live, and your business may not have gotten to the point where it can take you there, help, make sure you're there, you're good, then stick with it a little bit longer. And your financial documents paint a picture about your business, every single one of them. Your credit report, your tax returns, your bank statements, all of that paint a picture about you. And credit is always a factor for anyone seeking funding. Even with the Kiva loan, it's not looking at your credit score, but it's looking at the debt that you already have. And we don't want to see collection items on there. Remember, we don't want to see liens and judgments. But you can't improve your credit rating if those things are there. But it takes some time. And we make sure through our hub that we provide resources to help you get there. It's not as difficult as you might think, and it doesn't take as long as you think it would. And you should reevaluate your cost of operations and pricing at times. I don't know that any entrepreneur would say, oh, you know what? I think I'm charging too much. But you might be not charging enough. And very successful people have failed in business at least once. So don't feel like a failure if things are not where you want them to be at this time. Just remember, you can pause, you can tweak, you can pivot, you can just ask for help as well. And request technical assistance at the beginning of entrepreneurship. If not, you're going to request it at some point in time along the way, but just make sure that you don't leave that out of the whole entrepreneurship journey, okay? And you can start your business as your side hustle until it cash flows. That's okay. That's probably how a lot of businesses started in the first place. I thank you so much on behalf of Floyd E. Miller II, who's with us today, my president and CEO of Metropolitan Business League, as well as our collaborator, Leah Freemouth, who's our president and CEO of Bridging Virginia. And I really do thank you so much for being with us today. The best way to reach me is through my email, srooms@thembl.org, or you can call me on my work cell, 804-837-5786. Either way, I'm going to make sure that I take care of you. A few resources over here to the right, our website address for the Metropolitan Business League, as well as Bridging Virginia and Kiva. You can find so much information about what we do, what we're about there, but always I'm available to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sharon. Thank you for that presentation. And when someone gets on a presentation and says, you can contact me on my cell phone at 804, then she means business. So we certainly do appreciate the content of this presentation. Our goal is to make sure that we're bringing new and different types of loans, capital resources to our audience. So thank you so much for sharing that. When we polled many people and asked, were they familiar with the Kiva loan? A lot of people said no. And so we hope that you've been enriched by learning more information about what that loan is and what it provides and all of the different eligibility requirements. Next, we're going to transition into a Q&A session. We are going to open the Q&A up for a few questions, but before we do that, we did have some questions that came through our registration. And so I am just going to ask Amanda if there is a question or two that came through registration that we can queue up right now before we have someone from our audience. We'll take a question that's coming out of chat. Just type your question in the chat and we'll share that and get a response for that question. Thank you so much. Amanda?
Yes, so the first question we have is, how do you secure business capital when your personal credit score is very low?
It's going to be pretty difficult, well, with Kiva, that is not the case. But because you're a small business, particularly LLCs, partnerships, sole proprietors, you are your business. So you have to personally guarantee your loan. So the best thing I could say is to pull your credit report, make sure of what's on it, because some things that are on it can be boosted quickly, but not every loan is strictly based on your credit score. There are a lot of organizations out here that are making loans to small businesses, knowing that everything is not perfect. But I do want you to make sure that you do look at your credit report, see what's on it, understand how you can improve it. And it's best to make sure that you do that before you apply, because then you can speak to those things that are weak and let the lender know.
Awesome. So then that kind of leads into our second question, but maybe you can elaborate just a little bit. The next question is, how do you obtain credit without personally guaranteeing?
You're not going to be able to do that. Large corporations, that we know about, everybody knows about, they can do that because they are a corporation and their financials speak for themselves. But as long as you're considered a small business, you are your business, and your personal credit has to be what we rely on.
Okay.
The next question is Kiva accessible for Maryland businesses?
Absolutely, absolutely it is. Now, I may not be your capital access manager unless you are a member of the Metropolitan Business League, or if you ask for me personally to screen your loan. But Maryland does have a very good group up there, and I think they have more than one hub Whereas in Virginia, we are the only hub. So yes,
Awesome. Does Kiva offer loans above 15K?
no, 15,000 right now is the max. Now you can have another loan. There are other 0% interest rate loans out here for different, with different organizations. So you can have two of them if you qualify for more than 15,000, but Kiva's max right now at 15,000.
Okay, and then are your programs available for nonprofit organizations or for-profit organizations?
Are they speaking about Metropolitan Business League in Virginia or just Kiva? Because Metropolitan Business League and Bridging Virginia, you can be either. For Kiva, yes, you still can. Kiva has a special thing about nonprofits though. The nonprofit has to be able to show that they've done filed tax returns for at least 12 months.
Thank you.
Amanda, were there any more questions in the chat? Or did we get them all?
The only other question, it says in order to get, I'm trying to pull it back up, legal fees, access to legal fees. Do you all offer legal assistance at the MBL?
We have preferred vendors, say for instance, when we went through our We Care grant program, we have used preferred vendors in all different areas of expertise and provided some funds for technical assistance, credit towards working with a lawyer or an accountant, but not unless it's part of the loan. And we say, for instance, you're going through our loan program, one of those, and you do need sometimes we find funds for that, but as a daily thing, the funds are not there just specifically for legal, no.
Thank you. Another question is, traditionally, I have been fearful of borrowing money because as a new business, how can you rest easy at night that the business will be able to pay it back?
You put your finger on the pulse. It's hard. It's very hard to rest at night as an entrepreneur anyway, because like I said, you are your business. Even with my job as capital access manager, I feel the pain of our members and entrepreneurs. And sometimes I go to bed at night worried about them as well. So yeah, I don't know how you're going to do that. You might have to take some calm or something, but I think you need to always work on your business and trust your accountant, your financial documents, because they speak for you. Remember, I said that every one of your documents paints a picture. So become familiar with what they're telling you, where the trends are, what you need that's not going well. Are you making a profit? Is your business liquid enough for you to take on more debt? Just trust your financials, trust your instincts, get the best advice you can, join a group, network. Those things do help to get, a little calmer, I hope.
Another question, does Kiva have a list of affiliates in the accounting and legal fields?
Yes, we do have preferred vendors in those fields. And my boss, Floyd Miller, actually probably vetted all of them before I came to the Metropolitan Business League, and I trust him 100%. So yeah, we have some very good people. And then when other organizations have them as well. So I'm constantly building on our ecosystem to make sure that I know more about those that we're working with right now and try to build on getting new ones. So I'm always looking for something that's going to help our program, help our members, our folks that come through the Capital Access Program. So you can contact me by phone or email me and we can talk about that.
Perfect, because the next question, the same young lady was wondering if they can get a listing of those preferred affiliates.
I'll check with Floyd to make sure, but just contact me and we'll talk. I like to talk about those things one-on-one. Even if you want to become a preferred vendor, please email me, email Floyd, let us know, give Floyd some more work to do. He already has enough. But those things take time. We want to make sure that we're able to, because we have monthly recharge meetings for our members. And we don't just do cookie cutter. We know from our members what they need, what they're looking for, what they're seeking. And we use our preferred vendors and our ecosystem partners to bring that information to them. So if they're looking for something along your lines, you know, if you want to be a preferred vendor, then we provide that opportunity for you to bring information to them.
Thank you for that, Sharon. And Amanda, I'll say we'll take a few more questions. I will also just add for that response, the Capital Readiness Program with its ecosystem, we're also going to be collecting a host of different partners that we'll be working with to offer those types of resources, because we know that you know, business owners are out here trying to get their idea off the ground, trying to secure the funding, and then having to vet a host of different individuals to see if they're in play to do business with you. And so we will stay close to us and also the Metropolitan Business League, so we can help you to connect with the right resources. Amanda, we'll take a few more questions and then we will close here in a few moments.
Awesome. So the next question is, if you have proof that your new business is showing profit from vending or other side hustles, can you borrow based upon profit, not personal credibility, but the income of the business?
We do, for Bridging Virginia, we look at what we call global debt service coverage. That means we always look at both. Most of the time, the personal is the driving force because the income is there more so than the business, but that's not always the case. But we look at global debt service coverage. And now we're not going to weigh heavily on the score, but we have to see what you already owe personally, as well as for your business, because that's going to let us know in a really, I think, more in-depth way, a more detailed way, what you can take on, what debt you can take on that's new. That's how it is really across the board, even in banking. That's how it was.
Awesome. And Sonia, I actually believe the next question is technically for you. Will your slides be available to email? Like, are we going to email this afterwards?
Yes, we will share the slides. And again, the presentation is also being recorded for all of the registrants.
Awesome. That concludes the questions thus far.
Thank you, Amanda. And I just want to extend a very special thank you to Sharon and Floyd for your support in this partnership and collaboration. The Metropolitan Business League, we've been working with them over the last several months, really kind of talking about what are some of the needs from our entrepreneurs and business owners. How do we work together to make sure that we're commercializing this information out in the marketplace so that we can connect you with more capital. We can support you where you need from a technical assistance standpoint. So we're very happy and proud of the partnership, and thank each of you for tuning in today. Again, I say, please go to our website at www.crmsdc.org. At the top left-hand corner, there's an opportunity there to sign up for our newsletter that will connect you with all of the new information that comes in terms of programs and opportunities that we have available. And on behalf of the Capital Region and also the Capital Readiness Program that is powered by the Minority Business Development Agency, we thank you for being here today. And a special, special thank you to the Metropolitan Business League for providing this great content and for sharing some new news to our audience. Thank you all and have a good afternoon.